So we're gonna start by taking our left leg and crossing it over our right. So finding our balance, we wanna keep our hips square. So finding that balance and seeing how we feel with those hips. Now if that left foot has to go a little bit further forward than that right, just seeing where we're at so we can keep those hips square. Once those hips are square, we're gonna reach now that left arm all the way up to the sky and reach those fingers down towards the floor, and we're just going to take a nice side bend. So nice side bend, we're gonna get 4 full breaths on this side. So big inhale, big exhale. Inhale in, exhale out. At least 4 breaths. So if it feels good to stay here and tip a little bit further, reaching for the floor with that right, we can do that as well. Taking another breath in, and we're gonna exhale, come back to center. We're not going to uncross yet. So here, make sure you have a chair or something, or maybe you are in front of a counter, but we're gonna take a forward fold in this position. So all the way up this way, and we're gonna reach forward like somebody's pulling you, like I'm pulling you forward, and I'm gonna take those hips back. So my tailbone and my hips are pushing back behind me, and I'm going to try to take that into a nice forward fold, a forward bend. So if I want my chair here, I can just bend into this chair and taking at least 4 breaths here, big ones. With that breath, think about taking it in through the bottom of your belly. So you're really expanding that belly up into the ribs and the chest and letting that head just fall down. So if a chair or a counter or something is there that you can hold on, or if you have the space to come all the way down or reach for the floor. Wanting to keep our hips square at all times and pulling that tailbone up. So in this position, whether we're on a chair or we're down here, I want to think about pulling my hips up and tipping my belly button down towards my ankles. After those nice 4 breaths, we're going to come up the way we started, all the way up. And release down, keeping those hips square, releasing that side, shaking it out a little bit. Nice breath in and out, and we're going to switch to our second side. So now right is over left. See how we are as far as our balance goes. If we can line those toes up, great. Or if our front foot is just a little bit further forward than our back, that's fine too. But we really want to keep our hips square. So as my hips stay square here, I'm now going to take that right arm up to the sky, take that nice bend, and my left hand's going to reach towards the floor. So filling that breath, so filling that belly, ribs, chest, all fill with air, and when we exhale, let that air out. So as I fold into this, I should feel a nice stretch throughout this full side, even that outer hip. And I'm going to get at least 4 breaths here. And after that breath, I'm going to come back to center. This is where we're going to take those arms up. And again, I'm going to pull you forward. You're going to take those hips back. Heart comes forward. And we're going to come and fold forward. Whether we fold forward or we're on that chair, we come forward, pulling our hips up to the sky, tipping our belly button down towards our heels, and taking those nice, big, long breaths as well. So 4 big breaths here. At least 4 big breaths. If this feels good, you're welcome to stay here a little bit longer. And after 4, we're going to reach and try to use our core and bring us all the way back up, keeping our hips square, and then we release. Good. So our next movement, we're going to go into that lower leg. So having a chair or a counter, or if you wanted to come and do this at the wall, you can do that as well. I'm going to use this chair, so we're going to start with our left leg forward, and we're going to take our right leg back. So I have space in between, so if I'm to stand here, so I have my feet under my shoulders, and I'm just going to bring this foot back, keeping keeping both toes pointed towards this chair. So this is step one. We're gonna take this chair and bend into that front leg, taking a little bit more space with that back, because where I wanna feel this is that back calf. So in the back of this leg, I'm gonna push that heel down, feeling a nice stretch through that back of my right leg. Taking a nice breath here. If we want to use this chair and just use it as our support, we can do that too, but feeling a nice stretch in the back of that leg. With this, we're also going to come up to that toe, because I want to come up to that toe and get a nice stretch throughout that full foot. But looking at my toes, they're always pointed forward, so I don't want to bring my heel in quite yet. We're going to get to that, but I want to keep my toe and my whole foot directly forward. Okay, if I have space to come into that front knee and feel a nice pull in the back leg, that's what I'm looking for. So now we're gonna come up, and when we come back down, we're gonna push directly down. Breath in and out. One more up. We push directly down. And now what we're gonna do when we come up, we're just gonna turn that foot a little bit, bringing that heel in towards our midline and pushing that foot down. Get a nice stretch in the calf that way. Then on our next way up, we're gonna just pivot on our toe and take that heel to the outside of the mat or away from our body. Come up, pivot, coming towards our midline. Come up, pivot, and we go out. One more time, up and pivot, towards our midline. Up, pivot, outer. Come up, pivot, last time through, we're gonna come back to center, pushing that heel down and away. Nice breath in and out, and we're gonna push that leg forward, wiggle it out a little bit, and switch sides. So both feet, everything's pointed toward our chair. We're at our shoulder width, and we're just bringing that leg back until we feel a nice stretch, until it's wide enough to feel a nice stretch. And I am using this chair as support. So I'm gonna see if I can get my heel down towards the floor, and if I have more space, I'm gonna bend into that front knee. So I'm gonna come up and then just press down. Nice full breaths here, getting a nice stretch through the back of my leg. Come up, bring it right back down to center. Feel the back of my leg, the back of my calf, up into the back of my knee, lengthening. Up onto my toe, nice stretch throughout that full foot, and push that leg back. Good, now we're gonna take that up. We're gonna pivot on that toe towards the midline. Switch, pivot on that toe, bringing it out towards the outside of the mat. Pivot on the toe to the midline. Pivot to the outside. One more time. Pivot to the midline, push that heel away. Pivot to the out. Nice big inhale and exhale. And bringing that leg forward, shaking it out a little bit. Good, those are coming to now all fours. So we're gonna come to all fours on the mat. When we're on all fours, we wanna make sure that our shoulder into our elbow, into our wrist is nice straight line. So I don't wanna be up here, okay? So nice straight line. My knees are in line with my hands. And I have a nice flat back, like somebody's pulling me from the top of the head, and I'm nice and flat all the way to my tailbone. So I'm making a nice table. Center, nice inhale and exhale here. And we're gonna take an inhale, let our belly button fall to the floor, look up to the sky, fill it all up, and as we exhale, I want you to take that belly button towards the chin towards the chest, and those shoulder blades to the sky. Good. As we inhale, come on up. Full inhale, full exhale. Good. This is our cat-cow movement in the yogi world. We're halfway. Let's get 6 of these. Big inhale. Exhale, push. Last one. Good. Coming back to center. Take one breath, big inhale and exhale here. If you do need a cushion under your knees, you can do that. We're going to start on our right side and we're going to do some hip rotations. So what this looks like is we're going to keep our left knee down and our arms are pushing into the floor like we are a tabletop. We're going to keep our hips squared to the mat and we're going to kick open and then switch directions. So these are nice hip circles, hip openers. I'm going to keep my leg bent. So I'm going to kick up, out, back, and then I'm going to kick up to my elbow and around. So I'm going to switch directions. So I'm going to try to go from one, and then I'm going to switch to the opposite side. So nice circle with my hip, then I'm going to switch when I get back. So hip circle, and then rewind. All the way one way, all the way the other. One more time. And we come back down. Let's do our second side. So kick up to the sky, all around. Once we get back there, we're going to switch directions of that circle. Always breathing, full inhales and exhales as we go through this. All the way around and all the way back. One more time, full circle, rewind, release. Nice breath in, nice breath out. Okay, if we need to take a break here, we can shake out the wrists if we need to. Otherwise, we can keep moving on to our next movement. Working on our glutes here. So our first movement, we're gonna take that right leg. So right is out. We're gonna take that toe is on the floor. We're gonna point that toe. And we're just gonna bring that leg up to as high as my back. So I wanna get that, so I wanna squeeze that glute, and I'm just gonna toe touch and bring it back up. So, good. This is 4. We're gonna get 10, 5, 6, good. I wanna keep my hips square. We have 8. We have 9 and 10, and on 10, we're gonna hold it up. Good, I'm holding it up here. Now I'm gonna flex my foot, bring my heel towards my butt. Nice hold. Good, now I'm gonna kick out and back in for 10. Hips are still square to the mat. Last one. Good. Bringing it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stomp on the ceiling for 10. So it's going to look like this. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And 8, 9, 10. Release. Nice breath in and out. Again, if you need to shake out the wrists a little bit, take a breath, take a drink. Before we go to that second side, we're gonna do the same thing. So if you wanna pause and come back in a little bit after you get a drink. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start on that left. So my left first is gonna go out. I'm going to point that toe, keep my hips square, up, and then just tap it right down. Okay, we've got 8, 9, 10, holding it to the sky. We have our little hold here. Now we're going to take 10, we're going to go up. Stomping to the sky. 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. Breath in, breath out. After those movements, we are going to do our tail wag. So in all fours, you're thinking about pushing that right hip to the right, bringing back, and that left hip goes to the left. Nice outer hip stretch. Still breathing in and out through the nose. Good, one more on each side. Back to center. And if we're feeling it today, we're going to come into our child's pose. So your comfortable child's pose is how we're going to end. So your legs can come out nice and wide. Hips can go back towards those heels, or if you feel like you want to keep your hips up a little bit, you can do that too. Coming into your child's pose. Taking at least 6 nice breaths in that child's pose. And that is it for the day, except for one more stretch. And you'll see that coming up also in a little tag in your email. Have fun.